Why should you be excited about this year's ACC dual meet schedule? I'll let you know that, as well as some digging I did in to find out a couple more college wrestlers not returning for this upcoming season. Let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. What's going on, wrestling fans? My name is Josiah, and welcome to Fanco Wrestling for this week's wrestling headlines. And I'm more excited to talk about college wrestling in this week's wrestling headlines as opposed to college football, because Penn State didn't have the best weekend against Iowa, and I'm still not happy about it. So let's talk about some actual happy things, such as the fact that Fanco Wrestling is actually hiring. That's right, you heard that right. If you're looking for an opportunity to have your work published, maybe you're a skilled writer or a skilled in social media, this is your opportunity. This is your chance to show what you got. Now, listen, for me, I always wanted the opportunity to actually publish my work. Whether I was in high school and college, I was always writing and looking for somewhere to publish it, and I couldn't always find the opportunity. So if you're in the same boat and you think that you are a skilled writer, this is your time to apply for one of these jobs that I'm hiring for right now. You can check out the full description of the jobs that I'm looking for at fancowrestling.com. You can check that out down in the description below. But I hope that this could be a great opportunity for you and me to actually work together. Last week, Dayton Fix placed at the Senior World Championships. That was exciting because this is Fix, who has placed at the cadet and the junior level in the past, and now he has placed on the senior world level. This is huge for Oklahoma State as we look into the upcoming college wrestling season, that they have somebody who was on the world team and made the world finals, a college wrestler who made the world finals. He earned silver medal there, where he wrestled 61 kilograms. And he won the first four bouts, actually 41-0. So he won his first four bouts all by tech fall. Ended up making the finals, where he lost by a score of 4-1 against the Russian. He was amongst the other wrestlers on Team USA to actually secure a medal, such as Jordan Burroughs, who placed gold, Tom Gilman gold, Kyle Daku also won gold, and then David Taylor and Kyle Snyder also earned silver medals along with Dayton Fix. So a phenomenal performance by the men's freestyle team, and for Dayton Fix as a college wrestler to be able to place on such a high level, I mean, that has to be exciting for Oklahoma State fans. Now, the next segment, next topic in this past week's wrestling headlines you may have missed is that there are two wrestlers not returning for this upcoming season. One's from West Virginia, one is from Michigan. So the first guy from West Virginia is Noah Adams, who doesn't appear to be returning for the upcoming college wrestling season. I was doing this as I was doing some digging into my NCAA preseason or season preview guide that will be coming out in a couple weeks, but I found out Noah Adams wasn't listed on West Virginia's roster, which I was like, uh-oh, what's going on here? So I actually texted a couple of people to try to find out what was happening, but ultimately I ended up finding out over Twitter. So West Virginia then released this graphic last week where they were showcasing their captains for the upcoming year: Killian Cardinale, Michael Wolfgram, and Peyton Hall. Now, the most exciting one, obviously, out of them is Killian Cardinale, the returning All-American at 125 pounds, but you also notice that Noah Adams was missing from that bunch, and you'd think that he would be a captain. He was number 1 ranked coming into last year's season. He was top 9 seed at last year's NCAA championships, but what happened? He still had a great tournament. A great year. He had a couple losses to Buchanan, who just couldn't get over that hump, and ended up running into him at NCAA's, which is kind of a shame. So I was questioning, it doesn't seem like Adams is returning for this upcoming year. He's not on this poster. He's not on the roster. Doesn't look like he's coming back. Somebody on Twitter came back and actually said to me that, yeah, he's deciding not to come back, not coming back for that extra year of eligibility. I believe he's actually a grad student now, but what he's doing now is actually training to be a police officer in Charleston, West Virginia. So I just congratulated him on Twitter because I didn't know that was something he was doing, and I said, congratulations, thanks for supporting the community, and he just said, Adams actually said back, thank you for supporting me. So it appears that Adams is not returning for this upcoming year, which is a shame, but listen, thank you to Noah Adams for continuing to support the community of West Virginia. And then the other wrestler not returning for this upcoming year, Logan Massa from Michigan. Also was a guy not listed on the roster. Something else I noticed. Thought it was a little bit fishy. Thought it was a little bit weird. What's going on there? We see some of the other guys returning with Michich, with Amin, with them already announcing that they were coming, or were coming back. So what's going on with Massa? Well, it turns out that he just had a baby in July. So I was like, ooh, maybe he doesn't want to come back because he wants to spend some time with his newborn baby, with his family, which, like, no fault to him. That's what I would want to be doing too. And then Flow Wrestling actually ended up saying as well that in an article that there's going to be that hole in Michigan's lineup at 174 pounds because the two-time All-American, because the guy, Massa, who placed 5th at Nationals last year, will not be returning. He had a phenomenal career. I would have loved to see him come back, especially with how tough Michigan's lineup is this year, but we're not going to see that happening. And then the ACC. The ACC released their entire schedule. I was tweeting out at NC State because they were the last team that needed to release their schedule. I was like, what are you doing, NC State? Come on. I want to see when you're wrestling all these teams, especially because I'm located in Raleigh and I'm trying to get out to as many of those dual meets as I can get to. But they finally released their slate last week, so we have every single duel from Duke to Virginia Tech to NC State. So the first one that I want to talk about is Virginia Tech. Some of the big things to be excited about with this ACC dual slate is that Virginia Tech is opening against Ohio State. That's a strong start to their season. They're going to have a tough schedule, and actually Ohio State seems to be like kind of woven throughout all these team schedules, even though they're a Big Ten team, which I just thought was kind of interesting. Tech's also going to be wrestling Mizzou in December and then taking place in the National Collegiate Duels. The other team wrestling at the National Collegiate Duels is NC State, and oh boy, I mean, I'm so psyched for the National Collegiate Duels. I honestly can't even contain my excitement for those. So look forward to January 21st, though, because not only will they potentially wrestle the National Collegiate Duels, they will wrestle on January 21st here in Raleigh. Came down to the wire last year between Virginia Tech and NC State, but now we officially have that date set, and this is going to be, I mean, it's going to blow the roof off the place if it is as tight as it was last year. It's going to be a battle for the ACC right at NC State against Virginia Tech. The other thing I want to talk to you about actually is the fact that, and I'll tell you about some of these other schedules, is that all of these dual schedules from ACC to Big Ten, they're all located on FancoWrestling.com. I have them linked up down in the description, so you can go to your favorite team, find their schedule. It's all listed in one easy, convenient place to try to make that as easy as I could for you to find them all. And then the other thing, Pitt. Let's talk about Pitt and North Carolina. Those are the other two teams that have their slates revealed. So Pitt will actually host some great home duels this year. I was looking at their schedule, analyzing it. Some great home duels against Arizona State, Virginia Tech, NC State, all at home, all in Pittsburgh. That'll be great to pack that house. And then UNC, I was like, because like I said, I'm in Raleigh, so I was thinking maybe UNC has some great home duels as well. And they have a couple, but really their away schedule is the one to really be excited about when they're going to be wrestling Ohio State, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Rutgers this year as well. So it's going to be a tough schedule for North Carolina. But, I mean, if they pull off a couple wins, they're looking at, I mean, potentially a top 10 ranking. I don't know if they can do it or not, but I'm excited for that. The other thing that they will be taking part of is actually the Garden State Grapple, which is a new inaugural dual series that's happening this November actually is when the inaugural dual series is happening. So the Spartan Combat is who announced the Garden State Grapple. They're presenting this dual meet event that's taking place at the Prudential Center in New Jersey on November 27th. This is actually where the New Jersey Devils play hockey, so it's going to be fun to watch a wrestling match. I love watching these wrestling matches in these big venues that, I mean, they happen every so often. You usually get one big one, exciting one a year in a different type of venue, and I think that this is going to be a lot of fun to be able to watch that. The teams competing in that, of course, you're going to have Rutgers, Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Hofstra all taking place in the Garden State Grapple. And the thing that I like so much about it, honestly, is that we're starting to get a lot more of these dual meet type events in making way for more of a dual meet season, especially in the beginning of the year, because sometimes you have like a couple of okay duels in like November, December, and then you're waiting for the meat of the season in January and February. But now with the Garden State Grapple, with the National Collegiate Duels, as well as the Journeyman Duels, which Penn State's taking part of in the beginning of November, Penn State, Oregon State, Sacred Heart, all wrestling in those duels. The Boilermaker Duels is another event that's happening. Purdue, Brown, Northern Illinois, and Duke all taking place in that. I love love seeing all these different types of dual meet events that are going to be happening this year, and I think it's great that wrestling is going this type of way with the dual meets. I'm interested in what ACC duels you're excited to watch this upcoming year, because to me, the match that I'm most excited for is NC State and Virginia Tech on January 21st.